So there is a growing debate tonight about how authorities should prosecute Saipov. The president tweeted this earlier today. Would love to send the NYC terrorist to Guantanamo, but statistically that process takes much longer than going through the federal system. There's also something appropriate about keeping him in the home of the horrible crime he committed. Should move fast. Death penalty, exclamation point. Here now, constitutional law attorney Jonathan Turley joins me. Jonathan, always good to have you with us tonight. What do you make of what the president had to say there?
Well, I have to say, I don't believe it is appropriate for the president to talk about these type of cases. Presidents have normally refrained because it can complicate cases. It can create issues for trial, particularly in paneling a jury. So at voir dire, courts have to go through extra steps when presidents hold forth in this way, particularly about talking about presumed guilt and sentencing. Now, having said that, I don't think that's going to make a lot of difference in this case. This is a case that, honestly, is virtually devoid of any cognizable defense. He seems gleeful in admitting his guilt. There's so much evidence establishing guilt that the prosecution could probably present this case in 10 minutes and secure a verdict in about 10 more minutes. So it will move relatively quickly. And for those that wanted to go to Guantanamo Bay, I think they would be making a serious mistake. It would take much longer, and more importantly, it would add appellate issues that he very well might prevail on.
Yeah. I mean, think about Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, tried in this court system, Jose Padilla, tried in this court system as well. But he was designated an enemy combatant. Do you consider this suspect, we'll call him, an enemy combatant in this case?
Well, enemy combatant status is often used in order to put them through a military tribunal. I've been a critic of the tribunals because I think they've been an utter failure. Very few trials have actually occurred. Their legal status still is a bit fluid with the Supreme Court. You know, we have a system to try terrorists. I've been lead counsel in a couple of high-profile cases, and I can tell you the conviction rate is astronomical. It's one of the highest conviction rates of any crime in the United States. A case like this, there's not going to be much of a challenge for prosecutors. And while they can linger in appeal, these people are in jail. He'll never see another free day in his life, and he's a virtual lead pipe cinch for the death penalty.
You know, it's good that he's alive in that he can give investigators some indication of the way that he was radicalized. They can learn something about his background, hopefully. He's gleeful, apparently. He feels like he did a great job when he ran his truck down that bike pathway, and he feels good about that. He wanted an ISIS flag to be hung in his hospital room. I mean, you know, this guy is exactly what we need to figure. You know, we need to find these people like him who are out there in this country and who want to do the same thing, Jonathan.
I think that's right. I think that most of the effort of the Department of Justice in these days is not necessarily going to be building a case of prosecution. That case he built himself, and it's really watertight. They're going to be doing these hops, getting farther and farther away from him to see his circle of friends. They're going to look at his wife. His wife could very well face allegations. Her case could be more of a challenge.
Jonathan Turley, thank you so much. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Martha.